In today's news, BVI government and Unite BVI gifts HLSCC with $300,000.
Public Accounts Committee finally formed.
Live interview with Mr. Lesmore Smith on the annual Boxing Day races.
USVI and Puerto Rico bans cockfighting.
Father shot dead while holding baby girl.
And Bronx teen who staged her own kidnapping. Well, she has returned home. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast, unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Season's greetings, everyone, and welcome. It's Friday, December 20th, 2019. I'm Ron Grant.
And I am Javon Wilson. We know you're excited to head into the weekend, so without further ado, these are your top stories. After months of petitioning, a Public Accounts Committee was finally commissioned on November 14th with direct responsibility to examine government spending, backdated audits, and make that information privy to the public. Public Accounts Committee refers to a committee in the legislature that studies public audits, invites ministers, permanent secretaries, and other ministry officials to the committee for questioning and issue a report of their findings to subsequent or to a government budget audit. Now, typically, the government is required to report back to Parliament, of course, in our case being the cabinet, on PAC recommendations within a specified period, usually 2 to 6 months. Now, more often than not, opposition members chair PACs in the Commonwealth. So as a result, Leader of the Opposition, Honorable Marlon Penn, has been appointed as the chairman of the committee. The 4-member committee also includes a representative for the 2nd District, Honorable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, 3rd District Representative, Honorable Julian R.A. Fraser, and government member and Deputy Speaker, Honorable Neville Sheep Smith. We caught up with Honorable Penn on what's to be expected from this committee. Listening.
PAC's role is pretty much to look at the spending and expenditures of the government for any given period, not just the current government, but also foreign past governments, audited projects, audited expenditures. Those are the things that we're going to look at going forward. And that's pretty much the role of the PSC to really give account and assess the spending of government and do report and make recommendations for changes and procedural changes and just changes in terms of how things should be done going forward concerning how government expends public resources.
So will this complement the Auditor General's office?
Yes, it does. Actually, the Auditor General is the advisor to the Public Accounts Committee. The committee is made up of myself as chairman, Honorable Julian Fraser, member for the 3rd District, member Honorable Mitch Turnbull, Melvin Mitch Turnbull, member for the 2nd District, member, and as the government's sole member, Honorable Neville Smith, Deputy Speaker, is also a member of the Public Accounts Committee. It's a 4-member committee which is chaired by myself, and the Auditor General is the advisor to the committee.
So just like Honorable Penn said, this newly formed committee will collaborate with the Auditor General's office to ensure that the public is brought up to speed on government projects. We were eager, just like you, members of the electorate, to find out what would be some key projects or what would be considered a priority. And this is what Honorable Penn had to say.
When was it commissioned?
It was commissioned on the 14th of November after the House was prorogued and the new session started. We had that committee and the formation of the committee placed on the other paper so we could move forward, get the work of the committee moving.
And what are some of the key projects you intend to look into, I would think, first under the mandate of the committee?
We are currently looking at all the audited accounts, all the audited projects that were done by the Auditor General. I'm actually going to formally write to the Auditor General to get a list of all those projects so that we could decide on our way forward in terms of which projects we're going to look at. But one of the areas that we have a concern of just now is the festival expenditures, the expenditures from festival, which seem to be it was budgeted at $1.something million. Now we're hearing disparaging information in terms of the amounts. Some numbers close to $2 million. So we need to look at how that money was expended. It's publicly funded by the government. Most of the monies are funded through the government's coffers, and I think we need to account for that money. We need to be able to get the whole expenditure for festival under control, as well as some of the projects that probably happened under our administration. We're hearing that the cruise fair, there was an audit done. If there's something that we need to look into, we'll look into that as well as the $7-point-something million that was spent on the planes. I know there was an audit that's supposed to be coming forward. And we are not going to be just looking at this current government, but also expenditures that span former governments as well. So we intend to be a very aggressive committee. We intend to do a lot of work, look at a lot of projects, and make sure that the public get answers in terms of how their funds have been spent on these projects.
Now, Ron, I know the public has really been pushing for this to become a reality, where we get to really examine public spending. Like Honorable Penn rightfully mentioned, it is not just a review of the current government spending, but predecessor governments as well. And we've been missing that for quite a number of years. Absolutely. Just recently, we reported on the fact that we've been missing 10 years of audits, and it really speaks to our accountability or lack of thereof. And when we think about, the Pier Park initiative, when we think about the $7.2 million airport investment, when we think about the perimeter wall, and now, like Honorable Mitch Turnbull and Honorable Penn is suggesting, the overspending for Festival 2019, I think there's a lot to uncover.
I think it's most necessary when it comes to the public accounts of the Virgin Islands, and I think it's long overdue, so we hope to see what the members of this team will be offering.
All right.
The BVI has long been dubbed the sailing capital of the Caribbean, with a whopping 60 keys and islands combined. The BVI is undoubtedly a sailor's dream. However, although the history of the BVI is full of mariners and the marine industry underpins our tourism product, there has been a decline in the participation of Virgin Islanders in the profession over the years. One goal of the Premier's aggressive initiative, Back to Sea, is to address this industry decline and create meaningful opportunities for locals. Dr. Richard Georges, acting president of the HLSCC Community College, relayed that it was time the marine industry takes its rightful place among the islands. He said, "It is time that we equip Virgin Islanders, particularly the youth, with the tools necessary to become fully invested partners in the maritime industry." Georges went on to state that the college has been in the business of preparing and training locals for the reality that the BVI government and Unite BVI has now joined in supporting the mission of the college. John Samuel, chairman of the HLSCC Community College Board of Governors, is no stranger to the marine industry. As a trained mariner, he echoed that his drive and passion has always been to extend career opportunities in the maritime industry to as many Virgin Islanders as possible. Samuel stated that the college has been working feverishly to rebrand and rebuild during the recovery period. He said, "Our core programs that we have developed can be marketed regionally and internationally. That is a product we will be proud to promote internationally." According to the chairman, he anticipates the college's STCW basic training is anticipated to be the most reputable in the Caribbean upon its commissioning. The fire safety facility used in the program sustained heavy damage during the hurricanes Irma and Maria. However, the government invested in extensive repairs, and the necessary equipment has already been replaced. In October 2019, the Marine Professional Training Program, headed by Matthew Holt, enrolled 11 Virgin Islanders in the first of 3 cohorts. The program is delivered with a balance of 8 weeks of training and 8 weeks of paid industry apprenticeship. Holt reiterated that many persons may find a passion in the marine industry as there are many different opportunities, but to pass the course, students must complete 6 modules. These modules include basic navigation as designed by the Royal Yachting Association, basic swimming proficiency and water safety delivered by the Virgin Islands Lifeguard Program, a Unite BVI Fire and Rescue, customer service and hospitality training delivered by the BVI Tourist Board, basic operational sailing module delivered by Offshore Sailing School located on Scrub Island, first level of maritime technology training delivered by ABYC American Board and Yacht Council, STWCW training, which is standards for training, certification, and watch keeping. The basic certification at all mariners must complete in order to engage in work in the sea. Dr. Lesmore Smith, Executive Director of Unite BVI Board of Governors, expressed her delight to grant a $100,000 contribution to the program. She said, as part of Unite BVI's mission, we would like to help create a generation of global change makers in the BVI. In 2018, Unite BVI founded a grant with DAI, Development Alternative Incorporated, which assisted the college in preparing the curriculum, and Unite BVI presently is now supporting. Dr. Smith added that its logical conclusion to our initial work last year. Now, Jovan, this is a great initiative that we see the government and Unite BVI coming together to really solidify their position in pushing marine time in the British Virgin Islands. We are surrounded by water, so I really don't know what took us this long.
Right. It's not a great private-public
Yes.
partnership. And Ron, when we date back centuries to the fact that back in the day, our locals, we used to get into boat building, and those very boats used to be used to go out and fish, and that sustained our families and our economy back then. Clearly, a lot has happened since the industry has evolved, but like you said, there has been a decline in interest, so I'm really glad to see this program, the government pushing this program to reignite some of that passion and that interest, because like you said, this is where we live. It's a part
And
of
you know
who
what I
we
find
are.
interesting, though? We have a very mixed set of persons, some who are totally afraid of the water,
Right.
and some who have learned by literally the old-fashioned way of just, dumping in the water and learning how to swim. So it's like a love-hate relationship, but we have to fix that.
It is indeed. I was thrown overboard.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I almost died.
That's how it is. Well,
But
ladies
I
and gentlemen,
learned.
we have much more coming up in this newscast. A very special interview with Mr. Lesmore Smith on the upcoming Boxing Day races. All this and more when 284 News returns.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life.
We will live well.
A pleasant welcome back to 284 News. Now, as promised, we have a live interview with the president of the BVI Horse Owners Association, the man himself, Mr. Lesmore Smith. Ron, all yours.
Thank you so much, Jovan. Mr. Smith, welcome back to 284 Media.
Thank you, Ron.
So, the year could not be completed without our annual Boxing Day races, and this year happens to be in honor of William the Judge Reimer, one of our longest living residents. Tell us about Mr. Reimer, for those who may not know him.
I know Mr. Reimer from a young boy coming up in the community. My father back then had horses as well, and that's how I met Mr. Reimer, going to the Little racetrack then, when Ellis Thomas was the one that ran it. And that's a few mornings ago. And Mr. Reimer, I'm so happy to see him reach this age. Ron, I'm not sure we're going to make it there, but to God be the glory for him. And I decided to honor him, being one of those long outstanding horsemen in the community, and also the oldest living person
Yes, in the Virgin Islands.
in our territory.
That's quite historic.
Yeah.
Now, the post time for this year's Boxing Day race is 12:30.
12:30.
And we know that you have a card filled with exciting races. Tell us about the 7-card race. Tell us about some of the races.
We'll have the big race itself, which is the last race of the day, a mile and a 16th long, featuring 4 horses, 2 out of Tortola and 2 out of St. Thomas. We evenly matched with horses, but not sure with winning the race.
Right.
So we're going to try and win the race. I have a horse in that race, Courage and Honor, and the name itself I should represent well, Courage,
Indeed.
Honor. They courage, honor Mr. Reimer. So I'm hoping to combine
And bring victory home.
Yes, and bring some electricity, and having him
Right.
deliver the trophy to me in honor of that day. So I'm going to do my best.
Okay.
We have Thomasville, which is Cal Thomas and those guys. They have a horse in that race as well. And then we have Totally Evil coming back up against Tullian, who've been dominating for
Indeed.
the last 3 or 4 races. And we intend to dethrone him this one.
Okay.
It's my 1-year anniversary as president, resurrecting the whole horse racing industry
Great.
in the Virgin Islands. And it hasn't been easy doing so,
Of course not. Yeah.
financially and otherwise. So I'm not sure how we're going to end for me, but I wanted to end with a bang with Mr. Reimer's trophy.
Well, I definitely would like to congratulate you on your efforts throughout the years as it pertains to horse racing. And you mentioned just now you don't know where the journey is going to take you, but 2020, tell us about the vision for horse racing in the Virgin Islands as we approach a new year.
I know St. Thomas, having conversation with them, they are hoping to run for their festival,
Okay.
their carnival. We festival carnival for them. We're not sure it's going to happen, but we're hoping it would happen. And they really want it to happen because like 3 years now they'll be out of, and they're hoping that they can get back next year, God spare, so they could have their first carnival back. That's to their promoter and them, but whatever they're going to do, we're going to pass it to Pate. If not, we're going to continue hosting races in the BVI, and we're going to continue because just the other day we had 2 more horses came in. So
Okay.
the gentlemen or the people of the BVI are buying horses and becoming more competitive in the sport. So we're going to keep it going, and hopefully they're going to keep coming, and we're going to go eventually when they get started, and we're going to reciprocate and give the same support.
Well, I know the people of the Virgin Islands, both in Tortola and in the U.S. Virgin Islands, are looking forward to it. Tell us about some of the prizes and who are your sponsors. What can we expect in that area? And entertainment as well.
Entertainment, vibes.
Okay.
Going to have some good music to shake your foot a little
Of course.
bit.
And we know it's an entire fashion statement, so the women are going to be coming out looking their best as well.
Yeah. I noticed your co-host in the newscast, you know, she already having all the dress to match, so it's going to be the match.
Guarantee you. Her and I will be there, and we'll be enjoying ourselves.
And we're going to also have, because we just came out of a cultural event, and in honor of Mr. Reimer, we want to also add some cultural flavor to it as well. And we're going to have a bit of Fungi music.
Awesome.
We are hoping that Miss Parsons could get a few of the heritage dancers aligned for us to give us at least 1 or 2 dances, just for the nice seniors that will be out. Again, we're going to have the seniors tent, and we're going to be sure that it have chairs enough to facilitate them. We're hoping to get servers to help make sure they don't have to leave their seat unless they're going to the bathroom, which we also want to have assistance to help them to get there if they can't, mobility-wise. So we're going to have all the pieces in place to be sure that our seniors are looked after properly. And their fee is only $8 for the day.
Okay.
We cut their fee like totally in half.
No problem. And
So
the
they
children
can
are paying $5?
$5,
and what about
adults
adults?
are $15.
15. All right. Now, you mentioned a little bit just now about having a cultural flair. Tell me, in your opinion, how significant is horse racing to the culture of the Virgin Islands?
It is one of our oldest, longest cultural sport in the Virgin Islands, because I came up knowing horse racing, and I already passed a certain age in my life. So I know it's been there, and I've heard my grandfather spoke about it, so it's been way back. It's like probably 2 centuries back for us. And I really want to see the sport continue. That's how I got involved with it. Ron, just to give you a bit of highlight, when I got involved with the sport initially after the hurricane to try to revive it, I went on the radio, looked telethon.
Yes,
Everybody said
that,
it wouldn't happen, it wouldn't happen, it wouldn't happen. But I continued to persevere, and resilience in me of a BV Islander just say you have to keep going. I did, and I'm happy for what we got. Some people say we'll be our training track, but it is the only running track in the Virgin Islands. So
yes.
we have made strides, and it's a part of our economy. Every time we bring people in, we know for a fact the government get theirs, the hoteliers get theirs, and now we have the bed and breakfast situation where even more revenue will be generated to us. So we're going to keep it going. I'm thankful for the government, though, for August festival races, to the Premier and his team for the sponsorship he have given us.
Okay.
I already got a word, commitment from Ms. Sherry De Castro, Mr. Kai Rima, who are the grandchildren of Mr. Rima,
yes.
along with the second district representative, who is also a family member. They're totally sponsoring his race.
Okay.
They said that's on them, so don't look back for anything. That's theirs. That's in honor of their grandfather and family relative. So that's been committed. I know your CTC board phone. They're there with us on board as well.
Of course.
Diamond International, they're there with us. They came on board for the last August festival races. They gave us a good sponsorship. They were there displaying their items and stuff. And we are happy for the other people in the committee, Skelton Development. They gave us a sponsorship, like 3 or 4 sponsorships since I've started. And again, Ron, I want to make mention of Mr. Skelton, Oliver Skelton, that passed.
Yes, recently.
Yes. All those rails that you see on the grandstand, those metal rails, he have donated them to me personally, and I'm thankful for him. Every race day he had his special seats, special passes.
Very
he came
supportive.
in, very supportive. And this year we're going to honor him in one of the races.
Okay, excellent.
He's going to be one of the person honored for one of the races.
Okay.
So that's also allowing Mr. Rema, he'll be there.
All right, so we have 2 persons being honored, of course, William the Judge Reimer and the late Oliver Skelton.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, a day filled with fun, excitement. We know we're going to have a great time down at the Ellis Thomas Downs 7-card race. You must be there. It's an exciting time as we close out 2019 with the BVI Horse Owners Association. Mr. Smith, thank you so much for stopping by.
I thank you very much, and I'm encouraging all to come on down and support us.
Indeed.
We're going to have the grandstand covered as much as we can with tents. So if you're wondering if you're going to be sitting in the sun, no. We're asking other people who have tents to also help to donate them to the cause. It's for us to come out, enjoy ourselves.
Be comfortable.
And be comfortable. Have fun. It's a year of us not knowing what next year brings. God has been good. The hurricane saved us again. Come out and have fun.
Indeed. Jovan, back to you.
More than enough reason to come out and celebrate. That is on Boxing Day, of course. Like you heard, Ron and I will be there in our flying colors.
Indeed, having a great time.
Of course, 284 Media will be there to cover the event as well. But we have to move right along, viewers. When it was announced last year that an amendment to the 2018 Farm Bill would ban the practice, the reaction in the Caribbean, specifically Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, was fierce from residents and representatives alike, with Puerto Rico and USVI leaders in Washington waging a strong campaign to remove the amendment. The effort, however, was unsuccessful, and beginning today, the federal government can prosecute persons or organizations found participating in or facilitating cockfighting. Now, on Thursday, Delegate to Congress Stacey Plaskett penned a letter to the United States Attorney for the District of the Virgin Islands, Gretchen C.F. Shepard, stating that the outlawing of cockfighting would create an underground industry and could prove problematic to enforce. She said, quote, "Cockfighting, like horse racing, is a long-standing recreational activity in the U.S. Virgin Islands with historical and cultural significance to many Virgin Islanders. I do not support cockfighting in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018 prohibits the sponsoring or exhibiting of animal fights involving live birds in the Virgin Islands, and that law takes effect on December 20th, 2019. I have written in the U.S. Attorney's Office asking for what her intentions are regarding enforcement actions and if the Virgin Islands has made any announcement to the people of the Virgin Islands regarding the prohibition of cockfighting and her position on the issue. She also wrote, I understand the concerns of those opposed to cockfighting and believe regulatory processes and educational outreach provide the best means for addressing those concerns. Outlawing cockfighting in the Virgin Islands will only create an underground industry which can prove problematic for local stakeholders and local law enforcement. Now, the BVI has been struggling with this very issue, viewers. We've heard quite a number of reports on cockfighting locally, and just last year, the BVI bagged about $50,000 when a Trinidadian visitor was prosecuted after attempting to smuggle nearly $30,000 cash through the Terence B. Lettsome International Airport. Unofficial reports say that the cash in question was the proceeds of an illegal cockfighting operation. Viewers, still ahead, Jamaican father shot dead while holding his baby girl, and a 16-year-old Bronx teen who staged her own kidnapping. She has returned home. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
What are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see, with the competition, which means about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
The whole on string bean, ain't a kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello?
Wait, you had a lunch and you don't say you were sick? What happened to our wedding rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And district-free residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service and a breathtaking ambiance, not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today. Viewers, welcome back. Now, the Gleaner out of Jamaica has reported that a man cradling his 1-year-old daughter in his arms was not enough to stop prowling thugs from spraying him with bullets in what police investigators believe was another retaliation attack playing out in the streets of East Kingston community of Harborview, Jamaica. When the gunfire ended, the young man, still clad in his work uniform, was dead, while the infant is battling for life in a Jamaica hospital, according to police sources. The shooting happened at a stone's throw away from the Harborview mini stadium shortly after 6 p.m. on yesterday, December 19th, 2019, and up to news time, their names had not been released. Investigators believe the killing was in retaliation for an incident almost 2 weeks ago in which gunmen invaded a party meters from last night's incident and opened fire at patrons, leaving 2 dead and 6 injured. The double murder was also a retaliation attack, police sources say. Harborview falls within the Kingston East Police Division, which has seen a 17% spike in murders this year. According to the last figures published by police, the Kingston East Police have recorded 74 murders compared to 63 of the corresponding period last year. Residents and police sources indicated that the young father never stood a chance against his killers, who wanted him dead for several times as they waited outside in their car for several minutes that was parked alongside Riverside Drive, between January 1st and last Sunday. 1,273 people have been murdered across Jamaica, a 2.9% increase when compared with the 1,237 homicides that were recorded over the similar period last year. Very daunting statistics.
Wow.
Brothers and sisters over there in Jamaica, Jovan. Very tragic story again.
Very tragic indeed. And now a little baby girl is fighting for her life. I think, Ron, when we look at these type of tragedies, it's like a big reminder, that we have to be grateful for where we live, We have a lot of issues in the BVI, but they're not as great as other countries. Absolutely.
A bit of peace of mind,
we live in what I would consider to be a crime-free society. I come from a country, Guyana, where there's hundreds of thousands of people, and every single day, crime on a very high regard. So the BVI is a lot better than you guys think.
We're very blessed,
we have
and we want to
lot,
keep it that way. Let's
yes,
just say
we
that
have
too.
a lot to be thankful
Indeed.
for living here. And now on to a stunning turn of events involving an Amber Alert for a 16-year-old girl, followed by an all-out search, and today, signs suggesting that the whole thing was a hoax. 16-year-old Carol Sanchez walked out of the 40th precinct Tuesday evening with relatives who spent the entire day searching for her. Trailing behind, none of them said a word. Now, around 11:30 on Monday night, Carol was with her mother on Eagle Avenue and Melrose when a surveillance video showed 4 men pulling up in a car, grabbing the teen and pushing her mother to the ground before driving off. Her mother said that her daughter was screaming hysterically. The family who lives in Dutchess County were staying with relatives in the Bronx the morning after the incident. The NYPD put out an Amber Alert and plastered the neighborhood with missing persons posters. Then, 15 hours after what looked like her abduction, Carol came back to the spot where she was taken and reunited with her relatives to their relief. Sources say that the teen turned herself into the police on site and confessed that she orchestrated her very own kidnapping with the help of 4 accomplices in an attempt to run away from her family. Police let the teenager girl go without charging her for any crimes, but the NYPD said they are still investigating, and of course they're looking to speak with those accomplices. Now, this is coming out of the Bronx, Ron, where kidnapping, and we've been seeing a lot of this recently, especially a lot of kidnappings have happened over the years. So I think, I don't know what the situation was at home and what would have inspired that, but I think it's a slap in the face for the persons who were truly abducted and the persons that were really trying to crack down on those cases.
And who are in danger.
Absolutely, you have scores of people who have never ever been found dating back all the way to the 1900s. So it's very unfortunate.
Quite a bold and very cynical move. So we hope to see persons really not only understand the depth of their magnitude of some of the pranks they pull and what message it sends, but we'll see what happens in this story. We'll keep you guys posted.
Based on what we've heard as well, this dates back to the fact that her mom wants to move back. I think they're from the Honduras or the Netherlands. I can't fully remember. But she does not want to move back. She wants to stay in the United States. So this prank was, of course, to inspire them to stay. Clearly, that
puts
did
that
not
into
work.
Perspective a bit.
Viewers, we have to wrap up, but before we go, we'd love to invite you to a few events this weekend.
Indeed, lots going on.
First up is the Christmas market at Oil Knot Bay. Now, for those of you who've never been there, trust me, the Oil Knot Bay is something else. And just really, it's going to be a really nice hub of local businesses, local vendors, of course, coming together.
I'm excited for that. With
great sales just in time for the Christmas season. Then there is the Glam Pop-Up Shop and Tea Party at Fisher's Cove. That is on Sunday. The Style Pantry, She Likes, Juicy Lips, Miss Sylvie Faces, Del Rosa's Cake Boutique, Naughty Virgin, all these vendors and more will be exhibiting their products there. So come through. That is at Fisher's Cove. And now we're heading over to Umi Fashions, their Fashion Live. At 5, of course, I'll be there. Ron might be there cheering me on.
Definitely got to root for my partner.
So, of course, on your way home, do stop by. We have lots of giveaways at Umi Fashions.
Yes.
We want to thank you so much for joining us. That is it for our news today. But be sure to like us on Facebook, at 284 Media as well as 284 BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. My name is Javon Wilson.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again on Monday as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody. Happy Friday.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.